here today with South Dundas Recreation to bring you your June at-home workout. I'm going to take you through a warm-up, the workout, and a cool-down. So for equipment today, we are going to be using a pair of dumbbells. If you don't have a pair, you can always use one. And if you don't have dumbbells, you can always use soup cans or a jug of laundry soap works just as well. So let's start with our warm-up. We're going to use some dynamic stretching, taking the joints through range of motion, as well as some activation to get your heart rate up. So first things first, we're going to start at the top down. We're going to cross the arms over the chest, and then we're going to bring chin to the chest, and we're going to circle the head around. And we'll go back the other way. One more big circle. And then we'll bring the head back up. And then we're going to bring left hand to the belly, right arm, palm face up. So we're going to be taking this right arm through some big circles, slow and controlled. The hand on the belly is a guide to let you know if you're twisting. We want to avoid rotating the spine as we circle the arm. We just want to isolate that shoulder and work on that active range of motion there. The hand is also another good cue to see if you're engaging your abs. You want to feel the belly button sort of pull away from the hand a little bit and zip up as you're tightening the belly. So then, with that right arm, palm face up, we're going to lift the arm straight up overhead. And then you kind of get stuck. You're going to turn your palm to face out. You're going to go back behind you and all the way down to your hip. And then we're going to go back behind us again. Bring the arm back up overhead and down, palm face up. And that's one. Let's do that 2 more times. Go nice and slow. Work with your range of motion. The first one might be kind of sticky, and then the second one might get a little better. And the third rep will probably be your best. Perfect. And then let's switch. So right hand is now on the belly, left arm, palm face up. Again, using that hand on the belly to help you sort of self-guide if you're twisting or if you've sort of forgotten to squeeze the abs. Your hand's there to let you know what's going on. You'll be able to feel it. So we're going to get nice and tall. Zip the belly button in. Left arm, palm face up. Let's bring the arm up. And then again, you kind of get stuck, so you're going to turn the palm to face away from you, and you can kind of go back behind you, all the way to the hip, back behind you again, overhead, and down. And let's do that 2 more times on this side. And go slow, take your time. You're feeling both, maybe a bit of a stretch in the shoulder, and we're starting to activate the muscles and taking that shoulder through a full range of motion. Perfect. And then we'll just shake that out. So again, drawing the abs in, so just gently on an exhale, tighten the abs a little bit. And then we're going to go through full arm circles, both arms at the same time. This can be a little bit more loose, doesn't have to be as controlled as the last circle. And then let's go the other way. And then we're going to go through something called an up and over. The key here is going to be when we do our thruster today, and you're going to be putting weights overhead, we want to see what's going to go on, what's going on with the abs. We want to avoid any arching of the back. We're going to practice keeping those abs nice and tight when we're carrying that load overhead. So focus with the up and over is on the exhale. When you swing your arms up and over and pinch the elbows up, I want you to exhale and draw those abs in. pull your belly button back to your spine and squeeze. And then you get to inhale to release. So what we want to avoid is swinging the arms up, pushing the hips forward, arching the back. And we also want to try to avoid turtling and curling forward as we swing the arms up. So we're going to try to stay as tall and proud as we can. So here we go. We're going to exhale, squeeze the abs, swing the arms up, inhale, release. And it's okay if you don't have this, you may not have as big of a range of motion as myself, and that's okay. And even my range of motion could probably improve. That's why we do this. We're practicing that overhead position, keeping those abs tight, trying to help keep that spine neutral. You can even squeeze your glutes or your butt cheeks on the exhale. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs. And that's going to help keep those hips right underneath your shoulders. Next one here, let's exhale and hold. So squeeze your butt cheeks, pull your belly button in, squeeze the elbows up, and straighten the arms. And again, squeeze the glutes, draw the belly button back, squeeze the abs, reach the arms up, and rest. And just excuse my daughter. Again, this is at home, right? We're going to be facing all different obstacles. We got the cat, we've got kids. So after our up and over, now let's grab a dumbbell. Or again, if you don't have a dumbbell, it could be a jug of laundry soap, cans of soup, something light though. So we're just going to grab one dumbbell if you're using dumbbells, and nothing too crazy. So we're going to hold it like a bow tie. Now we're going to add external load to that kind of overhead position. So instead of just bringing the arms up, we're now bringing an external load up. But we're going to remember all those principles. So we're going to take an inhale. Now on the exhale, we're going to squeeze the abs, squeeze the glutes, push the weight up overhead, and then control it back to the chest. We're going to do that 10 times. So that was 1. Here we go again. Exhale, squeeze and press. 2. 3. Again, when we're doing these 10 reps, 4. We want to pay attention to what's going on. 5. In the midline. Let's avoid arching the back or pushing the hips forward. We also want to try to avoid pushing the weight out. We want to try to get it straight up overhead. I've lost count. Let's do 2 more. Perfect. And then let's put that weight down. So based just off that, you can kind of feel what it's like to put a load overhead. If you've trained a lot before, you might be very comfortable with that. But if this is one of your first workouts, it's good to just practice. See what it feels like to put a load overhead. What happens to the rest of the body? So we'll bring that awareness when we go into our main portion today. So from here, we're going to move on to a bow and bend. We're going to start working into the legs. So feet hip width apart. We're going to reach down, stand tall, squeeze the glutes, and bend back. So we're going to bow and bend. So when you're bowing, getting that hamstring and glute stretch. When you bend, I want you to squeeze your glutes to really try to open the front of the hips as opposed to just arching the back. So we bow and bend. Let's do one more. Perfect. All right, and then we're going to be moving on to sort of a reverse inchworm. So you want some space behind you. So we're going to bring our hands down to the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands to the floor. From here, We're gonna walk our feet back to a plank. We're gonna come down to the knees, and we're gonna bring our chest onto the floor. And then we're gonna press back up to the knees. We're gonna go back to the toes, and we're gonna walk our feet back in to our hands and stand up. So let's do that 4 more times. So down, back to a plank, knees, chest, knees, toes, walk it in, stand up. You got 2 more reps. If you can speed it up a little bit, give it a go. Last rep. Perfect. And then stand up and shake it off. So we are going to be doing a burpee today. So that's a little bit of a preview of that. We're gonna come back to that later. So from here, we're going to make our way down to the floor. We're going to start to activate those glutes, just like we did with that overhead press. So, because we are going to be doing a deadlift. So we got thrusters, burpees, and deadlifts coming up today. So I'm just trying to prep you for that. So lying down on our back, we're going to do a single leg glute bridge. We're going to do 10 reps per leg. So we're going to tuck the tailbone. We want that low back on the floor here. We're going to straighten the right leg, left foot on the floor, arms out by your sides. And then on an exhale, you're going to push into that left heel, pick up your hips, and then tap the floor and come right back up. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Really squeeze that left butt cheek. 6, push through your left heel. 7, try to open the hip at the top. 8, 9, 10. We'll switch. Right foot on the floor, left foot up in the air. Let's go for another 10 reps here. Push through the heel, open the hip. 1, 2, squeeze that right butt cheek at the top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Starting to feel those buns and maybe those hamstrings. All right, now we're going to do an extended bridge. So we're going to take our heels and we're just going to walk them away from our hips. So then there's a slight bend in the knee. We're going to flex the feet, arms by your sides again, and we're going to push both heels into the floor to really pick up the hips and try to open those hips. And that's 1. Again, we're going to go for 10. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Warming up that posterior chain. 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. We can give those knees a little hug. And then let's come back up to stand. All right, we're almost done with our warm up here. We're going to start working on our squat for the thruster. So we're going to take our heels and place them just outside hip width. We're going to turn the toes out comfortably, 20, 30 degrees, maybe not at all. And we're going to make our way into what's called a deep squat. Now, if this position is difficult for you, you could always sit on a little stool, like a little footstool at the bottom. And so here we go. We're going to get into it. So deep squat, you're going to come all the way down. And this is a resting position. So my hamstrings are touching my calves. And for a moment here, I'm going to just try to work on straightening out, opening the chest, Making sure my heels are on the floor. That's the tricky part. And then I'm going to bring my elbows inside my knees. And we're going to push the knees out using the elbows to just sort of butterfly those knees out and in. And then we're going to do a squat pry. So we're going to press those knees out. We're going to keep pushing the knees out. And we're just going to rotate to one side. Then we're going to rotate to the other side. The whole time I'm still pushing my knees out actively. Then I'm going to come back to center. I'm going to cross the arms. I'm going to lean onto that right leg. My heel is still on the floor, and I'm using my torso to drive my shin closer to the top of my foot, doing sort of a forced ankle flexion. And then we'll switch, go to the other side. Same thing. Now, of course, your shin will never touch the top of your foot because then you've broken your ankle. But we're just working on that ankle flexion. It's going to help with the squat. Audrey, excuse me. Excuse me. And then from this position here, we're going to reach our arms up. And like we're blocking out the sun. We're going to zip the belly button in. We're going to look at the back of our hands. We're going to shift our weight to our heels. And we're going to stand up. Now, if you need assistance coming out of that position, you can always kind of help yourself up. So now we're going to move on to a Kang squat. So we're going to start to get some movement going in that squat rather than sitting at the bottom. So let's, again, take our heels just outside hip width, toes turned out comfortably. We're going to cross the arms over the chest. And the Kang squat is kind of breaking it down into a couple of pieces. So first thing is we're going to emphasize the good morning. We're going to press the hips back and hinge down. From this position, we're going to externally rotate those knees. So just imagine that you're pushing your knees away from each other. And then we're going to pull the hips down to the heels. And then we're going to press back out. And then we're going to stand up and squeeze glutes and abs at the top. So let's do 4 more of those. So we go back, down, back, and up. Back, down, back, and up. 2 more. When you go into the bottom position here, try to avoid lifting the heels. Try to really keep those heels firmly into the ground. They are your center. Beautiful. All right, now let's take that right into a full squat. Yes, it is. So, full squat. We're going to take our feet just outside hip width. We're going to turn the toes out comfortably. Let's bring the arms up again. This is going to help facilitate that upright torso that we're going to need for our thruster today. So looking at the backs of your hands, we're going to initiate our squat by pressing the hips back just ever so slightly. Then we're going to bend the knees and begin to sit back into your hips and heels. Keep looking at the back of your hands. Full range of motion for a squat is the crease of the hip goes to or just below the knee, and then we're going to stand up. So let's do 4 more of those, nice and slow. So some things I want you to work on. Hips back, bend the knees, weights in your heels. Try to avoid initiating with the knees. We're going to initiate with the hips. We're going to try to keep that upright torso. Keep looking at the backs of your hands and keep your heels planted into the ground. You're growing roots out of those heels. So let's do 4 more. Here we go. Hips push back, knees bend, keep looking up, abs in, and drive up. 1. 2. One more. 4. Perfect. So hopefully you feel good about your squat. Range of motion or depth in the squat might vary depending on how you're on your training history. So even if your squat maybe is sort of a quarter of the way there, that's okay. Work at getting it deeper today. Maybe go really light with the thruster and practice more your squat than getting heavier on the thruster. Okay, so I have a very small sort of pre-fatigue pump before we get into the main chunk here. So we're gonna do 10 good mornings. We're gonna do 8 front squats, and we're gonna do 6 push-ups. We're gonna do that just twice. So you're gonna need, for the front squat, you're gonna need 1 or 2 lighter weights. You're gonna just keep it light right now. We're gonna be doing a push-up. So your choice, you can go knees, toes on the floor, or you can elevate your hands on, I would be using this chest, and then, or you could use a kitchen counter, couch, whatever you've got. Or if you can do push-ups on the floor, go for it. So let's start with those 10 good mornings. Feet are gonna go nice and wide. Fingertips behind the ears. Retract the shoulder blades. And then we're going to push the hips behind us, keeping that nice neutral spine, and stand up. 1, 2. You can go at a little faster pace here. 3, 4. Work at keeping that nice flat back. 5. Elbows drawing out. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Let's grab 1 or 2 weights. If you're using 2, they're going to come up on the shoulders here. We're going to focus on keeping those elbows up. If you're using 1, it's going to go butterfly. Same thing. Let's try to keep those elbows up. So we're going to do a nice front squat here with some dumbbells. We're going to focus on that slow lower. We're going to do 8 reps. So just like we just practiced, but now we're adding load. Here we go. Hips go back, down 1, 2, and up. Hips back, 1, 2, 2. Hips back, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 5. Work at speed at the bottom here. I want you to try to stand up fast. 6. Slow down, fast up. 1 more. Slow down, fast up. 8. Beautiful. Let's go right into some push-ups. So again, you're going to do 6. You can elevate the hands, knees or toes on the floor. Here we go. Down and up. 1. Elbows go back at a 45. 2. Hands about chest height. 3. Making a nice arrow. 4. 5. 6. Let's do that one more time. 10 good mornings. Fingertips behind the ears. Feet wide. Hips go back. 1. Push through the heels to stand up. 2. Belly button is drawn up. Abs are tight. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Going to 10. 8. 9. 10. Let's grab our weights for that front squat. And again, let's practice that nice crab chest. Abs zipped back. Down slow. 1, 2, drive up. 1, 2, drive. 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. 6. 2 more. 7. 1, 2, 8. And then let's do 6 push-ups here. Knees or toes or hands elevated. Again, hands are chest level, Try to avoid doing your push-up from that T. You want to make a nice arrow. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whew. Now we're nice and warm. Whole body should be hot. Muscles are activated. Joints have been taken through some range of motion. Now it's time to give it here. So here is you're already done a lot of good work. We're gonna finish strong today with your hard aerobic conditioning here. So we're gonna do 9 rounds. So I like to use poker chips to keep track of my rounds, because sometimes when you're in the middle of all this, your brain can get a little foggy. You don't want to forget where you're at. You can also use a pen and paper, just jot down. So 9 rounds, 3 thrusters, 6 burpees, and 9 deadlifts. So thruster with 2 weights if you have them. It's the full squat and shoot those weights straight up overhead. Full squat and shoot. You only have 1 weight, at like a bow tie here, full squat, shoot. So we want to avoid dropping our chest in our squat. Try to stay upright, so you're driving the weight straight overhead as opposed to out in front of you. So again, try to keep as upright as you can in your squat, because that will affect the trajectory of your weights. We want them to go straight up, not out. So you're going to be doing 3 thrusters. Then you're going to do 6 burpees. So we did a little bit of a burpee in the warm-up with that reverse inchworm. Now a full burpee, we jump back to the floor, jump in, jump up. If you're not ready for that, you can keep the full movement, but take it to a step. If you're not ready for that, take out the drop, maybe just step back, step in, stand up, or jump back, jump in, stand up. So lots of options for the burpee to scale it to suit your fitness level or your training abilities. And then deadlifts. 2 weights if you have them, like suitcases, feet hip width apart, hips go back, knees bend, stand up. Just like the good morning, but your feet are narrow instead of wide. Also, we want to pay attention to where your hands are going. You'll notice my hands are right beside my legs. Try to avoid having your hands way out in front. That's going to pull on the low back. If we can engage under the armpit, the lat, and pull like squeeze your armpit like you're holding a piece of paper under your arm. And that's going to draw those hands right back in that nice position. Now, if you only have 1 weight, you can hold it in front. You're still going to squeeze the underarms and the triceps, and you're going to hinge forward and come up. Again, the weight sort of travels down the legs. Try to avoid having the weight out in space. Okay, 9 rounds for time. So I'm going to get my timer ready. Work at a good, steady pace. Try to avoid going too hard and fast off the start. 1 moment, please. Again, at home, right? We got all kinds of obstacles we're working with here. Okay. Again, 9 rounds. Start slow and steady. Build momentum as you go. We don't want to burn out right off in the first couple rounds. So 3 thrusters, 6 burpees, 9 deadlifts, 9 rounds in 3, 2, 1, go. So thrusters, full squat, drive. 1, 2, 3, 6 burpees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 deadlifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's one round done. Next round. Thrusters again. 1, 2, 3. Go at your own pace. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but know that I'm here with you. Breathing heavy. I'm already sweating. I'm sweating in the warm up. 5 and 6. 9 burpees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whew. Yes, 2 rounds done. Make sure to sip water as you go. Try to avoid chugging. All right, round 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 6 burpees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 deadlifts. 1, 2, 3. I'm going a little slower on those deadlifts because they do require a little bit more control. 7. It's also good active recovery. 9. Beautiful. 3 done. Whew, it's like a third of the workout is done. Okay, back to 3 thrusters. Full squat, drive. 1, 2, 3. 6 burpees. Again, you got lots of options for the burpee. You can step. 1, you can jump. 2, you can step with a drop. 3, or you can jump with a drop. 4, 5, 6, and then 9 deadlifts. Keep that nice flat back. Push into your heels. Upper back's engaged. Squeeze your armpits. Tuck your shoulder blades in your back pocket. Perfect. Whew. 4 rounds down. Let's keep going strong. I've sort of found my pace here. I hope you have too. Finding a good pace, just the speed at which you're performing these movements. Making sure we can breathe. I could probably go a little harder because I'm still talking to you, but I'm also trying to coach. But for yourselves at home, if you can, push yourselves so you couldn't talk as much as I am. But we still want to be able to breathe. You ever feel like you can't catch your breath? Slow it down. Take a couple deep breaths. Have a sip of water. And then come back at a little bit slower pace. Good. All right, I'm 5 rounds down. Out of 9. All right, back to those thrusters. 1, 2, 3. Okay, burpees. Excuse me, Audrey. Again, we got a lot going on at home. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But that's okay. We can still get in a good workout. When I need at any point. Oops, I did 10. If you have to stop because you do have a little one running around, you got to help them with something, by all means, it's okay. We're just having fun here. Putting in some good work. Sweat is dripping down my nose. And it's something that my daughter is watching me do. So we're leading by example, right? Okay, 9 deadlifts. As you're getting tired, remember all your good points of form. Hips back, abs tight, upper back engaged. I see that. Ooh, getting there. I'm down. I got 7 done. 2 more to go, 8 and 9. Maybe you're faster than me. Maybe you're slower than me. That's fine. If you finish before me, feel free to speed the video up to the cool down. And if I finish before you, just pause the video until you're done and then join us at the cool down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 9 deadlifts. Here we go. 2, 3.
Mom, it's not heavy.
Doing a great job. Oh, okay. I got 8 rounds done, and I have 1 round left. So last time, thruster, full squat, drive. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Down with those. Burpees. I got it. 2, 3, 4, 5, and deadlift. 1, 2, 3. I'm right here with you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, 9. Done. Get a little carried away there. Woo. So I'm gonna stop my stopwatch. I made it in 10 minutes, 36 seconds, with a few interruptions, of course, which is 100% fine. I'm happy with that. I feel good. Oh, all right. So here we are at the cool down. If you need to, take a moment, catch your breath, grab some water. And then we're going to start our cool down by lying down on the floor. So we're going to lie down. You can stretch out the legs. Let the feet roll to the sides. Let your palms rest face up. And let's take a moment here to rest. We want to breathe, listen, and think. So taking this moment to reflect on everything that you just did. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Feel your lungs taking in air, and then let it all go with that heavy exhale. Feeling the sweat, little beads of sweat dripping down your forehead. And even though we're tired, we're sweaty, we're feeling that sense of accomplishment. You did it, and you're still here, and you did a great job. Be proud of yourself, be proud of your body, and the amazing things that it can do, and the amazing things that your body can learn to do. Even if maybe there was a few movements today that you really struggled with, we can change that mindset and we can say, I used to hate burpees, but now I'm going to learn to love burpees. I'm going to learn to improve the quality of my movement. And we can move forward with that positive mindset. Because we're here to train. And then let's inhale the arms overhead. Point the toes, full body stretch. Exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Give them a hug. And rock a little bit from side to side. And then we're going to hang on to the right leg. And we're going to stretch the left leg out onto the floor. Let's give that right knee a really big hug. We'll flex the feet. We're going to straighten the right leg, driving the heel to the ceiling, grabbing behind the thigh, gently pulling in. And then let's bend that right knee 90 degrees, right arm at shoulder height. And we're going to bring that right leg over to the left for a twist. We're going to take another moment here to rest, focusing on your breath, deepening the inhale, lengthening the exhale, letting your body relax into the twist. We'll come back to center. We'll bring up the left leg and we'll stretch out the right leg. Let's give that left knee a big hug. Flex the feet. We'll straighten that left leg, driving out through the heel, grabbing behind the thigh, gently pulling in. Feeling it in the back of the leg, that hamstring. And then we'll bend the knee, left arm at shoulder height. We'll go over into our twist. And again, we'll rest here for a couple deep breaths. Using your exhales to relax your body into the twist. And then we'll come back to center. We can bend the knees. We're gonna roll over to one side. We'll use the top arm to press up to sit. We'll come to a comfortable seated position from here. We're gonna clasp the hands behind the back. And then you're gonna pull through chest, front of the shoulders. You might feel that all across your chest. And maybe not. My body's still really warm right now, so my muscles have a lot of sort of flexibility than they might normally. Do this tomorrow morning and yeah, different story. And then we'll release. So we're gonna bring one arm out front. We'll grab just above the elbow. Gotta have my cupcake. Grab just above the elbow. We'll pull the arm across. We'll look over the shoulder. Audrey. Excuse me. And then we're gonna switch arms. So we'll bring the other arm out. We'll grab just above the elbow, pulling across, looking over the shoulder. And then from here, I've got one more stretch for you. We're gonna come up to stand. You may wanna come next to a wall or have something to hang on to. We're gonna stretch out the quads. So we're going to grab the foot, and then we're gonna pull the heel towards the glute. And at the same time, I want you to press your hips forward and get nice and tall. Shoulders over the hips, and then pulling that heel in. So what we want to avoid here is leaning forward. We're going to lose our stretch. And then we'll release. Same thing other side. We're going to grab the foot. So squeeze the glutes, sort of press the hips forward, nice and tall. And then pull the heel to the glute. And then release. And there you go, we did it. Awesome job. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Feel free to post your time on the South Dundas Recreation Facebook page. And we'll see you next time.